What's up, Spikes? Welcome to another edition of Giants Gauntlet.
So close.
So close. Goliath's Gauntlet. Goliath's Gauntlet in the Giants Golem. I don't know. I'm sure. Bull doesn't rhyme with golem.
This is spiraling out of control.
Spiraling out of control.
So quickly.
Lost my handle on what's going on. So we're just going to get right back into it and pretend none of this happened. I'm playing Briar today. Yeah, we're throwing Briar through the gauntlet. So Briar, Earth Briar to be specific, not Lightning Briar or Cheerios Briar, is going to be going up against 5 different decks to see kind of in general how it fits against a lot of kind of popular decks that are floating around right now. So the whole point of Earth Briar is instead of going wide with multiple attacks, you're going tall with 1 big attack on your turn. It is a similar sort of strategy as you're still trying to tax the cards in your opponent's hands. Instead of attacking for 4 3 times, you're attacking for 12 once. Yeah. So to sort of help that, we are playing against Kano today, so we did swap out some stuff. I don't have enough Arcane Barrier, so this might go horribly wrong, but when you're playing this deck, play a lot more Arcane Barrier.
Play as much as you can physically.
Yeah, so I'm playing the Rosetta Thorn, which is like the best Runeblade weapon in the game currently, I feel. Don't at me, I don't have Twitter.
I agree.
Playing Crown of Dichotomy, so it does have an ability you can use, but also has Arcane Barrier. Null Rune Gloves for the Arcane Barrier. Fendel Spring Tunic, not for the block, but maybe I'll get to turn 3 and I'll get to pop off an extra resource. And Sutcliffe's Suede Hides, not shoes, they're not blue. It does not have Arcane Barrier, but it will give me Go Again.
Yes, which could be relevant.
A little bit harder to get with the big attacks as opposed to small ones.
Absolutely. And as mentioned, I am going to be playing the boogeyman of the format, as it were, Kano. So he is the wizard. He is, as far as I can tell, I was going to say unplayable, but that's not true. He's like less good in competitive constructed or in classic constructed than he is in Blitz. In Blitz, it is very easy to count to 20, and the deck is very uninteractive. So I'm going to see if I can channel that and be uninteractive and count to 20 as fast as possible.
Yeah, Bill's just going to leave while it's his turn.
Yeah, exactly. So to help me out, I have my trusty Crucible of Ether Weave as my staff. I have Talismanic Lens to opt and potentially set up the top of my deck for some plays. I have a Spring Tunic, once again. If I get to turn 3, if it gets to that point, then I get an extra resource, and that's really helpful. I have Metacarpus Node, which has Arcane Barrier, as well as the ability to add arcane damage onto things if I pay, as well as Storm Striders, which is absolutely best in slot for the wizard legs because it allows you to basically get Go Again, but you can do it on other people's turns, which Go Again on other people's turns generally won't give you an action point, but as this is an instant, it's kind of the same thing.
I mean, if you could play the shoes, you'd play the shoes. The suede hides.
The suede, it's so much cooler.
You're stuck with
these are on fire, but those are suede.
Yeah, like they're on purple.
If it's good enough for Elvis,
it's good enough.
It's good enough for Kano.
It must be. Okay, well, I'm gonna start.
So Jan is going first. I did win the die roll, but Kano always wants to go second.
Yeah, basically.
How this works.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to beat you at your own game and play Sonata Arcanix and attempt to do Arcanix damage to Kano.
Sonata.
So I'm gonna. If you've watched this series at this point, this may be the 1st or the 4th Sonata I've cast. We're not sure. None of them have gone well.
Okay.
Non-attack. Non-attack.
Okay.
Okay. We did it.
You actually hit. Oh my god.
I hit it. Explosive growth into hand. Yeah, and take 1.
How do you play this deck? I'm in response to the damage.
Hold up. You're about to see Bill do something he's not actually allowed to do. Sonata is in the process of resolving here, so Bill doesn't get priority to play cards or activate abilities. Bill would have been able to activate Kano before Jan started revealing cards to Sonata's ability, but once he starts revealing, it's too late to do anything until the card's effect is complete. In contrast, Arcane Barrier is a replacement effect that prevents arcane damage as it happens. So Bill is fine activating his Metacarpus nodes during the resolution of Sonata. Now back to the show.
Okay.
I'm gonna activate Kano's ability.
Sounds bad.
And I will look at the top card of my deck. If it's a non-attack action, I can banish it, and if I do, I can play it this turn as though it were an instant. I am not going to do any of those things other than look, but I will pay 1 to prevent that with
Okay.
Arcane Barrier.
Well, I'm sad. But
Yeah, you should be.
Explosive Growth is in my hand. Also, depending on what order you're watching these videos or they've been released, this is either the first or fourth time I forgot to put a counter on my tunic on my first turn.
At least it'll get the viewers in the know,
Yes.
in the mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Don't
should
be like me.
Yeah.
Remember your thing. I'm going to play Weave Earth.
Damn it.
That's my second non-attack action. So I'll get a Frostbite token. Or, conversely, an Embodiment of Lightning token.
That's the better one.
That's the better one. That's the better one. Then I will play this Explosive Growth, pitching this Explosive Growth for 2
Not again.
resources. With 1 floating, it will pop this Embodiment of Lightning to give it go again. And I will fuse it with Burgeoning. So, because it is fused, it will be getting +4 from the Weave Earth, so 7 total. It will be attempting to deal 1 arcane damage to Kano, and then it also, because it was fused, has the ability of each time it deals damage, it increases the attack of each subsequent attack in the chain by 1.
Huh.
What that functionally means is if the arcane damage hits, it pumps itself by 1. If it then hits, it pumps the next attack by 2.
Yeah, I will block for 3.
Okay, so you're gonna take the 1 arcane though?
Yeah, I am taking the 1 arcane. Sorry, I passed straight through that.
that's
so
fine.
it is now for 8.
For 8, yes.
And then I'm blocking 3, so for 5. Yes.
All right, and then I will spend my last resource to Rosetta Thorn for 2 arcane and 4.
2 and 4.
2 and 4 is 6.
Yep. And I have nothing else to block with or do anything with, so I will take it.
Arsenal that card there. I also get 2 Embodiment of Earth tokens, like they matter in this matchup. And I will draw 4.
All right, so will I.
All right.
I will not forget the trigger on my Spring Tunic. I'm going to kick things off, and I'm just going to pop my hat. I'm going to break it. I'm going to look at the top 2 cards of my library, and I'm going to put both of them on top in this order. Talismanic Lens is dead. Then I'm going to pitch this blue snapback to activate Kano, and I'm going to banish this Tome of Aetherwind. I'm going to make it so that my next thing deals 2. 2 extra, rather. So I'm going to pitch this Ether Flare with 1 resource floating, and I'm going to cast the Sonic Boom for 5.
I was worried that was going to be a thing.
Yeah, so if it deals damage, I look at the top card of my deck. If it's a wizard non-attack action card, I can banish it, and if I do, I may play it this turn as though it were an instant, and it costs X less resource points to play, where X is the amount of damage dealt by Sonic Boom.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will pitch this Amulet of Earth to activate 2 Arcane Barrier, and I have 1 floating, so I will take 3.
Take 3? Okay, so I will activate the effect of Sonic Boom, and it is a snapback, and I will cast it to deal 3 damage. To attempt to deal 3 arcane damage to you because it costs 0.
Yep. I will take 3. I'll spend 1. Take 2.
I'll take 2. Okay. So yeah, you've taken 5 total. I'm going to use 1 to activate my Storm Striders. I'll actually make this up there. So I can play my next wizard non-attack action card this turn as though it were an instant, and it will be this Blazing Ether to attempt to deal 5 damage to you. All right, so you've taken 5 from that.
5, yep.
Let's clean all this up here, and I will draw some cards, and I implore you to not do the same, because it is not the first turn of the game.
I'll get rid of these Embodiment of Earths.
They did a lot of work.
They did a lot of work. They didn't even remind me of my Spring Tunic. This is the problem. That's why I have them there, so remind me for Spring Tunic. All right, I'm going to play a Force of Nature.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to fuse it with Weave Earth. So my next attack is going to get +1. And if an attack hits and it has more attack than its basic attack, I will draw a card.
Okay.
So what I will then do is I will pitch this Weave Earth to Burgeoning You. So attacking for 4, 5 since it's played from Arsenal, 6 because of Force of Nature. If it hits, I draw a card.
So what I'm going to do in response to that is just start activating Kano. I'm going to pitch this Gaze the Ages, and I will banish this Stir the Aetherwinds. Then let's activate Kano a second time and look at this card. Weird. So the second Stir is so unbelievably atrociously bad that I don't think I can actually do anything with even the first stir. So I think what I have to do is literally just block for 6.
Block for 6. Okay. Yep. As a attack reaction, I'm going to pitch this Burgeoning to activate Sutcliffe's Suede Shoes to give Burgeoning go again. I'll have 2 floating. And then
we will clean up and move to the end of the
turn. And I will attempt to Rosetta Thorn you for exactly 4.
Interesting. So I will block for 1 with Fiendel's Spring Tunic.
Oh no.
And then I'm going to go key your car.
No, my car.
No, you
needed
got
that,
me.
yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be salty, but like I had such bad cards.
Yeah.
So, like I'm sorry I did.
No, it's
but
sometimes so
Kano giveth and Kano taketh away.
Yeah, sometimes you draw bonkers hands, and sometimes you get someone into like, oh, they're at 4, I got this, and then you draw your hand and it's red snapback, blazing aether, and you're like, oh, well, go, I guess. And they're like, cool, attack you for 12. And you're like, oh, okay.
I know that what the deck is supposed to do, and I know how powerful it is. I just think that it doesn't get the right to, or the ability to shine as bright as it can in my less than capable hands. But I mean, you still were able to showcase some cool things about Earthbriar. You were able to just punch me for a bunch.
Yeah, I punched you for a bunch.
For 12 on the first turn.
And then my like brain didn't quite kick in that it was Kano, where I was like, I'm at 20. There's no way you can kill me on your turn. I'm just gonna have this like perfect turn that's gonna be like play Force of Nature, fuse it, play Weave Earth, play Earth Amulet, pitch this Burgeoning to attack with this Burgeoning, crack this Earth Amulet. It's gonna be so good. And then I realized I'm gonna do all that, have no resources, and you'd be like, all right, cool, take 10, sucker. And I'll be like, all right, well.
Yeah, I mean, the hand that I drew off of that last turn was all blues. So I was in like a pretty good spot, but like the double stir
is rough.
Doesn't do anything. And
I've had games where I've hit double blue zaps, and I'm like, this is bad. Like,
yeah, I mean, at least then you would have been able to like deal damage.
Take 1.
But, yeah, I think even optimally, if I had tried to go in on that, like even if I had like stopped after the first one, cast the stir, like I had, blue cards in my hand. Even if I'd kept the Voltic Bolt back, like I can deal, what is that, 6? Yeah. And then like I just don't have enough. Even if I then activate Kano again, I don't think I have enough to do enough. There may have been a way for
there might have been a way. The other thing with Kano and what I'm learning, because I've been playing a lot of Kano outside of this series and stuff, is getting over the instant reaction of like, okay, they're doing something, I need to kill them. Where it's turns where like I was just tagging you for 6. You very easily could have just like blocked and blocked. Yeah. And then gone to 1. Yeah. And then you get another turn for sort of like a better hand kind of thing. Yeah. So I think there's a degree of like, I don't know, for some reason people think like Kano games are all like done by turn 2, but I think like the actually like really good Kano players understand the point where it's like, how many turns do you just block and how many turns do you go for it? Because the problem is if you don't block at all, if you're just going for it, then you're taking all the damage they're dealing. And if you can't put out proportionally the same amount of damage, like if they're attacking you for 10, you basically have to hit them for 15 to be parodied where you want to be. Yeah,
exactly. Because you're on the back foot in terms of life, at least for Kano.
So it's sort of like that's kind of I think the second layer to like learning how to play Kano well is knowing when to just sort of like turtle up and like shields up until you can be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have just like a bomb turn.
That would be an interesting deck to put through the gauntlet as well.
We
would maybe have to do it over the course of more than one day though, because Kano requires so very much math. I need to take an Advil and lie down now.
Yes.
So, and I lost that game. It wasn't even interesting. But yeah, so that wraps up this installment of the Goliath Gauntlet. As always, thank you very much for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing.
Ring that bell.
Ring the bell or something.
Do something to the bell.
I don't know. I'm so tired. Have a good night.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Spike Feeders on YouTube. Before you close the window, make sure you click subscribe for more great Flesh and Blood content.